You guys didn't take these things home with you. They're great toys for taking fish off the hook. All kind of stuff. They're good fishing tools.
We like to fish.
So how many stitches?
I don't know. How many you want?
As less as you can give me.
What we do is when you have a laceration like that, you kind of put the first stitch in the middle, and then you kind of always close your gap. So you always kind of put it in the middle of whatever you have left. And that's how you sew it up.
This would be a great YouTube video for medical students.
That's right.
Yeah, I'll probably get a lot of views on that. After all, YouTube paid me, so that's pretty cool. You filming, Robbie?
Yeah, I'm
Good.
When I was in med school, our job was to cut the strings, and so the attendings who were teaching us, we'd cut the strings after they put the stitches in, and they'd go, too short, too long, too short, too long. You just couldn't. It's like, come on, give me a break, really. Finally, I looked up and asked the guy, all right, you want this one to be too short or too long? It's like, yeah, really? How important is that? Okay, so see how we put that one in the middle? So now we've kind of narrowed it down to 2 lacerations, right? So this one we'll put in the middle, and you kind of go on the outside of the wound right here, because you don't want too much tension on the wound edge when it heals up. So get through each side, and then when you're going to tie your knot, this is cool for tying a knot. You just put your little tool right in the middle. That's how you can't mess this up. The first knot has to have 2 loops around it so that it doesn't slide off itself. And you just kind of grab it. And see how my knot's nice and flat like that? You just pull it down.
So it's kind of like a slip knot.
It's like a slip knot. That's exactly right. And you pull it down like that. And you don't want to tie it too tight, because if you pull too tight, I can show you what it'll do. If you pull too tight, your wound edges will get white and kind of puckered up. And then the blood supply can be compromised right there at the edge of the wound, and you won't have such a nice result, and it can lead to scarring. See how that knot lays flat like that? You certainly don't want to turn it around like that and tie it down. You want your knot to lay flat. So one of the hardest parts of sewing is, see, for the second night on, you just put 1 loop over it, but you always have to kind of look at the direction your knot's falling. See that? And you want it to fall nice and flat. So this time you just one knot, and lay it flat. And see how this other string kind of got caught up in that one? I always pull this out like that. Make sure I don't have another string in there.
Yeah, I'm fine. I just feel tugging. That's it.
You feel pain?
Not really.
You wouldn't dare want to thing on YouTube, would you?
No, I can't.
And then I always I pull these knots over here on the same side just to make them look good. So they're all on the same side.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm fine.
You can lay his head down if you need to.
Want your head back?
I'm good.
Okay.
Alright, so now see how we have that end over here to do? So again, we'll put it right slap dab in the middle. This is probably the last one. The fact that it's on a knee, which, you know, is right where it's going to bend, there's a lot of tension on that wound, and that's why I stick my needle pretty far away from the wound edge, because it allows less tension on the wound itself and allows for it to be stronger when it's healing.
checking your clothes.
I'm good. I'm not gonna faint, I promise.
Right.
Yeah, the numbing stuff numbs against pain, like the needle stick, etc., but it doesn't numb against the pressure. I still feel that tugging and stuff. Make sure they're nice and tight. There we go. One thing you need to know about when the stitches come out is a lot of people want to take their stitches out at home, and the reason we don't let people do that is because you can't just take a stitch and cut it. What you have to do is you have to pull up on the stitch and you cut one side of it, because if you think about it, there's a loop of the stitch going all the way around, and if you just cut it right underneath it, the loop is still underneath the skin. So what you do is you pull up till you get right underneath the skin on one side or the other, right underneath the big knot. You cut on that side, and then when you pull the stitch out, the loop that went under the skin actually all comes out, and you don't leave any suture down inside the skin. Because if you're going to leave any sutures down deep, they have to be the kind that can be that resorb on their own, and these are not those kind. So
Yeah,
you got
I'm just
3
using nail
stitches.
clippers.
There you go. 3.
Yeah, 3.
3, yep. Looks good. I lined them all up pretty for you. Looks good.
Thank you very much.
And here are your toys. Your fishing toys.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Appreciate it.
And we're